One fall night, Edward went into the shed after a long day of work.
Edward, will you tell Percy here that no one wants to hear his silly ghost story again? You're just cross because I frightened you with my ghost prank. Shut up, you did not frighten me. Did too. Did not.
They've been like this for over an hour.
Please stop this, Edward. I'll do what I can, said Edward kindly.
Both of you hush, Edward whistled loudly.
If none of you can agree on a story to tell, then I'll tell one to you. Thomas and Percy both stopped arguing at once and listened.
A long time ago, Edward began, a little engine was puffing home with a local train. They had to cross an unsturdy bridge.
Thomas, I don't like this. Neither do I. Let's go home. Yeah, let's go home.
Hey, what the... The next morning, the other engines were very puzzled.
Thomas should have been home by now. If none of us can find him by the end of the day, then one of us should look for him tonight. And so it was settled. A big green engine had decided to look for the engine who had disappeared. Thomas, where are you? Thomas!
Oh, there you are, Thomas. Wait, what are you doing?
By the next morning, the engine started to freak out. Where's Henry? He's disappeared too. This is an emergency. We need to find Thomas and Henry. Soon, it was nighttime.
The little green tank engine had to pull the mail.
Thomas? Hello, Percy. Thomas, where have you been? I've been here, Percy. I always have. Is Henry here too, Thomas? He was, but he's gone now. What happened to him? The same thing that's gonna happen
to you.
And so, that railway viaduct will cause engines to disappear until there are none left.
Wow, that story was so scary. I don't think I will be able to sleep. Oh, Percy, don't be such a big baby. That story wasn't scary at all. In fact, it was so boring it made me want to scrap myself.
Well, Thomas, don't you think that's a bit harsh?
I do not care.
Well, Thomas, since you clearly hate my storytelling, does anyone else have a story they could tell? I do, said Gordon. It's the scariest story you'll ever hear.
So, everyone listened to Gordon's story.
Once upon a time, a big, proud, bright blue, handsome A3 locomotive by the name of Jordan was waiting happily for the Fat Controller to give him his work. Soon, the Fat Controller had arrived.
Jordan, I need you to deliver a movie theatre to Knapford Station right now.
But, sir, I need to pull the express.
But sir, I need to pull the express. Listen up now, cranky face. That's now Thomas's job. Your job is to deliver a movie theatre to Knapford Station, and you better do it or else I'm shutting down the railway.
So, to keep his railway from shutting down, Jordan chuffed over to Knapford Station to collect the movie theater. Oh, the indignity. So poor Jordan never pulled the express again. How'd you guys like that story? That story was just pathetic. Yeah, sorry, Gordon. I just have to agree with Thomas on this one. Humph.
Thomas? Yeah, what's up, Percy? This might seem off topic, but why isn't any engine number 13?
Edward heard Percy's question. Percy, why do you bring that up?
Oh, I was just wondering, because we have all these different engines, but none of them are numbered 13.
Percy, 13 is an unlucky number. Sir Topham Hatt will never make that same mistake again.
Henry, what are you talking about?
Percy, said Edward, there was an engine before you came here. Thomas, you would have been too young to remember. This was when the railway was still growing, and the legend has cursed us and this railway ever since it occurred.
Engine number 13. He was a tank engine like Thomas. No one can remember his actual name or what his face looked like, but I could remember his personality all too well. He was extremely careless and very rude towards the other engines, especially me. His carelessness has gotten him into all sorts of trouble. I tried to warn him, but he never listened. One day he fell very ill. The man worked hard, but he couldn't get better. They told me that there was something wrong in his boiler. They couldn't figure out what. Knowing that he wouldn't listen, I didn't tell him anything.
And I only regret what happened the next day.
And what was that?
Well, Percy, the thing wrong with his boiler was that his safety valve wasn't working. And when your safety valve doesn't work, the water pressure is very low. That can lead to boiler explosions.
The next day, he was shunting at a station. A passenger train full of people were there. Everyone noticed the terrible racket that number 13's boiler was making. "Are you all right?" asked our old controller. "No," groaned number 13. I feel so. I feel so." But he never got the chance to finish his sentence.
Unfortunately, there were no survivors, and I wish I warned number 13. Don't blame yourself, Edward. It wasn't your fault. Henry's right, Edward. You didn't know it was going to happen. Thanks, guys, but I can't help but feel some remorse.
Gee, I'm really sorry that happened, Edward.
So am I. That sounds terrible. Thank you both dearly, but I didn't tell you all of the story.
Wait, there's more? Please tell us, Edward.
If you insist.
Once an engine attached to a crane tried to clean up the station again.
What are those strange sounds?
Who goes there?
"Hello? Is anybody there?" Hello, kind sir. I am looking for an engine by the name of Edward. Edward? As in the blue engine? He hasn't run in ages. I'm sure the driver won't choose him again. So he's stationary. That's good. Do you know where he is? Yeah, I think he's at the old shed at Titmouth. Excellent. Thank you, kind sir.
Many people have claimed to have seen the ghost of number 13, and they say that he's hunting me down. Since he took that passenger train with him when he exploded, who knows what he could do now as a ghost.
The sheds were now very silent.
Now that was a good story. Yes, it was. Tell us another one, Edward.
Oh no. I really must get some sleep.
Come on, Edward, just one more story. Please.
Edward, Henry, and Gordon all knew that they would be up for the rest of the night. Dignity.